What are some of my major mistakes in trading that took place when it was earlier in my trading career? I am now over 5+ years into my trading career and as an independent trader. Okay. I've done some proprietary trading as well for FTMO, if you guys remember that company. Long story. I can get into that if you guys want to hear it next time. That was back in 2022. And what have I learned all this time is always be prepared to take profits. I really don't think there's gonna be anything I will regret if I take money off the table when I'm winning. Okay, that is one thing, one major thing that will keep me going in this market in the long run is taking profits. Okay, not getting too greedy, not shooting for the really long targets with all my funds, right? I mean, there could be some funds shooting for a longer target, but not with all of it, because if I don't hit that longer target, then I'm shit out of luck, okay? The other thing is not chasing pumping green candles on the day of, usually, okay? I have limited myself from doing that. Of course, there's going to be once in a while where I do that because the opportunity looks good, and I have some dry powder. I could allocate like some of my portfolio, not a big portion, right? A small portion of my portfolio to, I would say, gamble a little bit, right? But other than that, those are the two top mistakes. There's gonna be other ones I could share with you guys if it comes up on top of my head. We're also gonna be talking about some major dip bounce levels, reversal levels. I think that's gonna be very appropriate for the market that we're seeing in the past couple of days. Bitcoin right now is down almost 2%. It is the driver of this market. Okay. If it dips, it's gonna pull your altcoins down, as we are seeing right now in a ocean of red. Okay. We're gonna be taking a look into some altcoins as well, which is gonna be API3, Scale Network, XYO Network. See what has happened in these coins. Are their trading patterns and their price targets still valid as of what we talked about last time? Has anything big changed? Going to be getting into that. Also, going to be taking a look into some major economics and crypto news that could affect the markets. All right, we're going to be taking a look into some news first before diving into the charts. Let's go ahead and go to the first piece here. It says, this is by Cointelegraph. Bitcoin price dip hinges on 114K as markets shrug off US EU trade deal. Okay, so it sounds like the US EU trade deal was a bullish piece of news. Let's just get into some key points here. Okay, Bitcoin has a new make or break price point to monitor into the weekly close, 114K. I think it's at about 116K, and I'll point out to you guys why. I'm actually looking to hedge my long positions with a small short position at some point. I will point out to you guys. I'm considering that, okay, because I still gotta make a living, right? If I am not making money on my longs in the bull market because we're in this range, I am looking to put in a short position, right? Where I can make a pretty quick scalp, right? Something I'm considering. Now, next key point: bit liquidity. Lines up below local lows as Bitcoin market structure risks looking weak. Yeah, it's looking weak right now, but we're going to explore some bounce levels. Fed rate cut odds fall for September despite a US EU trade deal. That's what I want to know more about. Why are the Fed rate cut odds falling? Now, we do have the Jackson Hole meeting for Jerome Powell tomorrow, something to be paying attention to, but Let me bring up the Fed Watch tool here. This is the CME Fed Watch tool, which has been very accurate in predicting a Fed rate cut. I've been using it for the last couple of years. As you guys, if you guys remember, because if you guys been watching my channel, right? I've been tracking this probability of a Fed rate cut in September, right? We went from over 90% to now just 70 something percent. Still heavily favor of a rate cut, but it's decreasing. Why is that? I mean, it's not being mentioned in the headlines. That's what I would like to know, right? We have some bullish news going on, the trade deal getting done, right? As the piece of news has pointed out. But I don't see headlines on why the Fed rate cut is actually decreasing. That is something that's going to majorly affect the markets and to be paying attention to. All right, next piece here is by ZY Crypto. Bitcoin OG dumps $76 million Bitcoin after 7 years of hodling to go long on Ether. I think if anything, this is actually bullish news because it's actually giving a chance for it's actually pumping the altcoins, right? Starting with Ethereum, right? If anything, I think this is actually bullish news that someone is actually selling their Bitcoin and getting into altcoins, right? Because the money is not leaving the crypto ecosystem, right? All right, next piece is also by ZY Crypto. Bitcoin may still have a steam for 200K by end of 2025. Anthony Scaramucci forecast. I think 200,000 is still very much in the cards. I've been waiting forever for that God candle, the actual clean breakout candle, but we have been getting faked out over and over again. Last time was that 124K. I am trapped in a leverage position, but I am not over leveraged, so I am still waiting for that position to get back into profits. So I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of altcoins here, so my opinion on this market is still bullish. Of course, these are just my opinions. Like the rest of this video is not financial advice. I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion because as a trader in this market, I am open to both sides of the trade. So you guys definitely want to be subscribed to this channel for that. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin faces crucial 106K test before potential Q4 all-time high push. I think I know what it's talking about in terms of the 106K uh support level, which is the weekly 21 SMA, right? I pointed out to you guys for the past couple of days. We could go down there to 106K. So maybe a quick wick, right? It's very important that Bitcoin holds above 110K with weekly candle closes and above, because otherwise, this could really put the bull market on the line, and I'm gonna have to rechart that cup and handle pattern breakouts and potentially invalidate it. That's on the weekly time frame. Next piece here is by Crypto News. Bitcoin could hit 175K this year. I still think that's very much in the cards based on what I'm seeing on the monthly time frame. In terms of the RSI, we're nowhere near a FOMO reading on the RSI like back in 2021 and 2017. I mean, we're not even above an RSI reading of 90, where in the previous two bull cycles, where it does reach that height of that RSI reading, it dumps afterwards. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I mean, does it have to play out exactly like the past two bull cycles? No, but is there anything that's telling me otherwise right now? I don't think so. Also, I want to point out to you guys a few more things. Okay, let me finish this piece of headline first. $1 million by 2030. Okay, I'm not really interested in that long term. forecast, because who's going to be held accountable? I would have forgotten this piece of news already. Says Sole Strategy CEO. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the charts here. All right. I was going to be talking about the monthly time frame, right? Monthly time frame. Very important that we stay above, with candle closes above 110K, because this was the cup and handle breakout I've talked about. That's probably more noticeable on the weekly time frame. Okay. 106K level is going to be the weekly 21 SMA, about there, which is also the breakdown target of this rising wedge pattern. It's an ugly pattern if you're a bull, right? Because it is usually a breakdown, right? Price target here would be about, well, it'll be underneath 106K here. Okay, it'll be 104. Now, I did talk about a falling wedge pattern on this hourly time frame, where if the bulls can actually break out of this falling wedge pattern and go towards its price targets, that could reverse this breakdown. It's looking less likely right now, but let's take a look into the highest time frame where that falling wedge pattern is valid, right? In my opinion here, I think the highest time frame, do we have a daily? Highest time frame where this falling wedge is valid is actually on the daily time frame, from what it looks like right now. So if the price action can actually break out of this falling wedge on the daily time frame, that could uh, reverse this dip here. But if not, the next bounce level is going to be the 12-hour 200 SMA. I've talked about this yesterday. It's at about 111K. That is the orange line here. I have my alerts set here, just in case it does hit it. I want to look out for any possible liquidations on my leverage positions and possibly add some margin, right? That's basically what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. I want to point out to you guys a very interesting, some interesting altcoin charts here, because even though Bitcoin is looking like it's gonna get a red monthly candle here, if you actually take a look into Ethereum and Total 3, we're actually getting a huge green monthly candle here. I mean, we still have some time before this monthly candle closes, but this isn't looking like the beginning of the year where Bitcoin's bottom fell out and the altcoins are following, right? And it doesn't look like April 2024 as well. If you guys remember that time, it was not a great time, right? But right now we're seeing the monthly candles for Ethereum and Total 3 holding, okay, while Bitcoin has a red monthly candle. So I'm not sure if I can be very bearish about this, right? So okay, let's go ahead and go to some altcoins here. We're gonna be taking a look into Scale Network first. SKL USDT or SKL USD is going to be very similar. What has changed since last time? This is the weekly time frame. Okay, falling wedge pattern. Scale Network still trying to break out. Is this the highest time frame that Scale Network has this falling wedge validated? No, it's going to be the monthly time frame. Okay, so as long as it still looks valid on the monthly time frame here, I still think this breakout is potentially it's trying to happen right now, right? As you guys can see. Let's see here, 3 month time frame. I mean, I think this could be validated as well, but let's just focus on the monthly time frame. Because it is trying to break out, right? So if we get candle closes in and out of the pattern on a lower time frame, I'm not too worried about it yet, because it's validated on a higher time frame. This is the daily time frame. Let's probably look even a little lower. 4-hour time frame is trying to break out again. Okay. Now, sorry for being a little bit all over the place. I mean to mention the price target here first. It's going to be about 14 cents if Scale Network actually is successful in breaking out of this pattern. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. Very much depends on Bitcoin. Okay. If Bitcoin dumps, I would expect a lot of these altcoins to be dumping with it. Now, there are going to be some key resistances along the way. It is trying to get over a resistance right now, which is the weekly 50 SMA at about 3.5 cents. Weekly 200 SMAs, the orange line, is going to be about 6.7 cents. Those are some key resistances to be paying attention to. Let's see if it actually gets to that price target, right? Because even if it breaks out, it's not 100%. It's gonna get to that price target, right? Just gotta account for different scenarios that could happen, including a fake out, including a breakout that falls way short of the price target. I've seen all that happen before. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go to the 4-hour time frame, right? Where there is another falling wedge pattern. It's trying to break back out of here. And Scale Network broke out of that falling wedge pattern. And there is a little double bottom here as well on the 4-hour with bullish divergence. Price target for this one is going to be about 5 cents for Scale Network. Let's see if it gets there. Let's go ahead and go to XYO Network, XYO USDT or USD. All right, this is the weekly time frame. I mentioned XYO Network broke out of this falling wedge pattern back in March. Okay, it actually broke down a little bit more, but that's not uncommon to see, especially with quite a bit of moving averages acting as resistance after a falling wedge breakout. Now, price target for this one would be about 3.9 cents. Let's see if it gets there. I mentioned a possible cup and handle scenario if XYO Network reaches about 1.6 cents here. This is the weekly time frame, okay? A possible cup and handle scenario. Not fully formed yet. It's still a long shot, just my guess. Let's take a look into daily time frame. Daily time frame, falling wedge. It broke out, okay, back in August 4th. Price target has been reached and some more because the price target was at about 1.3 cents. XYO Network went all the way up to about 1.3 cents. Well, 1.3 and some. Okay, I mentioned this. I think this actually happens right after I mentioned it. Okay, and then it has formed another falling wedge pattern. Falling wedge patterns are going to be the pattern you want to get to know very well because it's the most common pattern that I see here, right? Falling wedge pattern, again, broke out, right? It usually breaks back out to the upside, and the price target would be about 1.15 cents price target. Quite a bit of resistance along the way. Let's see if XYO can hit some of these targets. API3, what is going on with this market? Weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, price falling wedge pattern again. It's gonna be your friend, okay? Price target for this one, if this breakout is successful, it's gonna be about $4 API3. Quite a bit of a move here. It is trying to, it's still very close to that breakout points, right? Let's zoom in and see if I can get any more clues on what this could be going on. Daily time frame, very in overbought territory, so it could be coming down for a dip, right? It could retest this upper trend line and see if that holds. So that's basically it. But it is significant that API3 has gone back on top of some of these daily moving averages, of course, including the daily 200 SMA at about 78 cents. Let's see if those supports hold. Mainly the upper trend line here. This basically wraps it up for today's video. For this video on these altcoins. Let me know if you want to continue seeing any more of these coins or any other coins by dropping a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.